Right now, across the United States, something is quietly shifting that most people aren't fully paying attention to yet. And if you understand it early, it can completely change where you decide to live, where you invest, and even how your lifestyle looks over the next decade. Because for years, people chased the same major cities, the same big names, the same skylines that dominated headlines like New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco. But as we move deeper into 2026, the reality is those cities are no longer automatically the best places to build a life. And instead, what we're seeing is a major shift towards cities that actually offer a better balance between cost, opportunity, safety, lifestyle, and long-term growth. And this isn't just opinion. This is backed by real data from platforms like Niche, which analyze thousands of data points including school systems, crime rates, job markets, housing costs, and overall livability. And what's even more interesting is that the cities rising to the top right now are not always the ones people expect. They're not always the flashiest or the most talked about, but they are the ones where people are actually thriving, building stability, and setting themselves up for the future. So, in this video, we're going to break down the 7 best cities to live in America right now based on a combination of data and real-world livability, and this is not going to be a surface-level list. We're going deep into what actually makes each city stand out, who it's best for, what the lifestyle really looks like, and why these places are outperforming others. And by the end of this video, you're going to have a completely different perspective on where opportunity in America is actually shifting. And more importantly, which of these cities might actually be the right move for you depending on your goals. Whether that's career growth, raising a family, building wealth, or simply improving your quality of life. And if you're into content like this where we break down cities, housing markets, and where the real opportunities are moving, make sure you subscribe right now because we go way deeper than just headlines. And trust me, what's happening across the US right now is only just beginning. So, with that being said, let's get into the list and start with one of the most consistently ranked cities in the entire country. Before we jump straight into the list, it's important to understand what actually defines a best city today, because the definition has changed dramatically over the past few years. And if you're still thinking in terms of just population size or popularity, you're already behind. Because the cities that are ranking at the top right now are not just the biggest or the most famous. They are the ones that create balance across multiple categories. And this is where the data becomes incredibly important, because platforms like Niche and reports highlighted by sources like Stacker are analyzing factors like cost of living, job opportunities, school quality, crime rates, housing affordability, and access to amenities like parks, restaurants, and entertainment. And what we're seeing consistently is that the cities performing the best are not necessarily the cheapest, and they're not necessarily the most expensive either. They are the ones that create a strong balance between income potential and cost of living. Because at the end of the day, affordability is not just about cheap housing. It's about how far your income actually goes. And this is why many mid-sized cities and suburban areas near major economic hubs are starting to dominate these rankings, because they give you access to jobs and opportunity without the full cost and chaos of a major metropolitan center. And another factor that's becoming more important than ever is quality of life. Things like safety, commute times, community environment, and overall stress levels. Because more people are prioritizing not just how much they earn, but how they actually live day to day. And this is why you're seeing a shift away from overcrowded, high-cost cities toward places that offer more space, better infrastructure, and a stronger sense of community. And once you understand this shift, the list we're about to go through starts to make a lot more sense. Because each of these cities excels in a way that aligns with what people are actually looking for in 2026, not what they were chasing 10 years ago. Number 1. Naperville, Illinois. When you look at rankings year after year, one city that consistently shows up at the very top is Naperville, Illinois. And at first glance, some people are surprised by this, because it's not one of those cities that dominates headlines or trends on social media. But when you actually break down the data and the lifestyle, it starts to make perfect sense why this place is often ranked number 1 in the entire country. Because Naperville represents something that is becoming increasingly rare in today's market, which is stability. And what makes Naperville stand out immediately is its school system, which is consistently ranked among the best in the United States, making it one of the top destinations for families who prioritize education. But beyond that, you also have extremely low crime rates, clean and well-maintained infrastructure, and a strong sense of community that you don't always find in larger cities. And one of the biggest advantages of Naperville is its location, because it sits just outside of Chicago, which means residents have access to a major job market without having to live directly in the chaos and higher-risk environment of a large urban center. And this creates a perfect balance where you can build a career while still maintaining a high quality of life. And when it comes to housing, Naperville is not the cheapest place to live. But this is where a lot of people misunderstand value, because what you're getting in return is consistency, safety, and long-term stability, which are factors that become increasingly important over time, especially if you're thinking about raising a family or building equity. And another thing that stands out is the overall environment of the city. From the Riverwalk to the parks and community spaces, everything feels intentional and well-designed, and that contributes to a lifestyle that feels calm, organized, and predictable in a good way. And in a time where many cities feel uncertain or volatile, Naperville offers something that a lot of people are actively seeking, which is a place where things simply work the way they're supposed to. And that's why it continues to rank at the top year after year. Number 2. Cambridge, Massachusetts. If Naperville represents stability, then Cambridge represents the complete opposite side of the spectrum, which is momentum, innovation, and opportunity. Because Cambridge is one of the most intellectually and economically powerful cities in the entire country. And what makes it unique is the concentration of world-class institutions like Harvard University and MIT, which attract some of the brightest minds from around the world. And this creates an environment where ideas turn into companies, research turns into industries, and innovation becomes part of everyday life. And as a result, the job market in Cambridge is incredibly strong, particularly in fields like technology, biotechnology, and research. And this is one of the reasons why salaries in this area are significantly higher than the national average. But of course, that also comes with a higher cost of living. And this is where the trade-off becomes important, because Cambridge is not a place you move to for affordability. It's a place you move to for access. Access to opportunity, access to networks, access to some of the most advanced industries in the world, and another major advantage of Cambridge is its walkability and overall urban design. Because it's one of the few cities in the US where you can realistically live without relying heavily on a car, and that adds to the overall lifestyle and convenience. And when you combine that with its proximity to Boston, you essentially get access to two major economic and cultural hubs at the same time. And this is why Cambridge consistently ranks as one of the best places to live, because for the right person, particularly young professionals, entrepreneurs, and those in high-growth industries, the upside is extremely high. And while the cost of living can be a barrier for some, for others it's simply the price of being in one of the most opportunity-rich environments in the country. Number 3. The Woodlands, Texas. Now shifting to a completely different type of environment, we have the Woodlands, Texas, which is one of the best examples in the country of what happens when a community is designed with intention from the ground up. Because the Woodlands is not just a city that grew over time, it's a master-planned community, and that difference is immediately noticeable in everything from the layout of the neighborhoods to the integration of nature and commercial spaces. And one of the first things people notice when they visit is the amount of greenery, tree-lined streets, parks, and water features that are built into the design of the area. And that creates a lifestyle that feels much more relaxed and connected to the environment compared to many other suburban areas. And beyond the aesthetics, the Woodlands also excels in key areas like safety, school quality, and overall community structure, which makes it one of the top choices for families in the entire country. And another major advantage is its proximity to Houston, which provides access to one of the largest job markets in the United States, particularly in industries like energy, healthcare, and business services. And this creates a situation where residents can benefit from strong employment opportunities while still living in a quieter, more controlled environment. And when it comes to housing, the Woodlands offers a range of options, but overall it tends to provide more space and value compared to many coastal cities. And this is one of the reasons why it continues to attract people who are relocating from higher-cost areas. And what really sets the Woodlands apart is the overall experience of living there. Because everything from shopping centers to entertainment areas is designed to be accessible and integrated into the community. And that reduces the need for long commutes and creates a more convenient day-to-day lifestyle. And for people who prioritize space, safety, and a strong community environment, the Woodlands is one of the most appealing options in the country right now. Number 4. Arlington, Virginia. Arlington, Virginia is one of those cities that perfectly balances career opportunity with livability. And what makes it so unique is its proximity to Washington, D.C., because being right next to the nation's capital creates access to a wide range of high-paying jobs in government, technology, consulting, and defense. And this is one of the reasons why Arlington consistently ranks as one of the best places for career growth. But what separates it from other high-opportunity areas is that it also maintains a high level of livability, with clean streets, strong public transportation, and a relatively safe environment compared to many other urban areas. And another major advantage of Arlington is its walkability and transit system, which allows residents to move around efficiently without relying entirely on a car. And this adds to the overall quality of life and reduces some of the stress associated with commuting. And when it comes to housing, Arlington is not cheap, but similar to cities like Cambridge, the cost is often justified by the income potential and access to opportunities. And one of the key benefits of living here is that you don't have to sacrifice your career ambitions in order to maintain a good lifestyle, because Arlington allows you to have both. And this is particularly appealing for young professionals and those in high-demand fields who want to be close to major decision-making centers while still living in a well-structured environment. And overall, Arlington represents one of the best examples of how a city can combine economic power with day-to-day livability. Number 5. Bellevue, Washington. Bellevue, Washington, is one of the fastest-growing and most economically powerful cities in the country. And what makes it especially interesting is that it often flies under the radar compared to its neighbor Seattle, even though in many ways it offers a better overall living experience, because Bellevue has developed into a major tech hub, attracting companies, talent, and investment. And this has led to some of the highest average incomes in the United States, particularly in the tech sector. And one of the biggest advantages of Bellevue is that it combines this economic strength with a cleaner, safer, and more organized environment compared to many other major tech cities. And this creates a lifestyle that is both high-earning and relatively comfortable. And when it comes to housing, Bellevue is expensive. But similar to other high-income areas, the cost is often offset by the earning potential and long-term appreciation. And another factor that makes Bellevue stand out is its access to natural beauty, with lakes, mountains, and outdoor recreation all within close proximity. And this adds a level of lifestyle quality that goes beyond just work and income. And for people who are focused on building wealth, advancing in the tech industry, or simply living in a modern and well-developed environment, Bellevue is one of the strongest options in the country right now. Number 6. Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas continues to be one of the most talked about cities in the United States, and while it has gone through periods of rapid growth and rising costs, it still remains one of the most dynamic and opportunity-filled places to live. And what makes Austin unique is its combination of economic growth and cultural identity. Because it's not just a place where companies are moving, it's a place where people actually want to live. And this is driven by its music scene, nightlife, food culture, and overall energy. And at the same time, Austin has become a major hub for technology and startups, attracting companies and talent from across the country. And this has created a strong job market with significant growth potential. And while affordability has become more of a challenge in recent years, there are still areas within and around Austin that provide opportunities for those willing to explore beyond the most central locations. And another factor that contributes to Austin's ranking is its overall lifestyle, because it offers a mix of work and entertainment that is difficult to find in many other cities. And for people who want to be in a place that feels active, growing, and full of energy, Austin remains one of the top choices in the country. Number 7. Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh, North Carolina is one of the most balanced cities in the United States, and what makes it stand out is its ability to perform well across multiple categories without having extreme weaknesses in any one area. Because Raleigh is part of the Research Triangle, which includes major universities and a strong presence of technology and research companies. And this has created a stable and growing job market. And at the same time, Raleigh remains more affordable than many other cities with similar opportunities, which makes it particularly attractive for both young professionals and families. And another major advantage is its quality of life, with access to parks, good schools, and a relatively low cost of living compared to major metropolitan areas. And what really makes Raleigh interesting is its long-term potential, because it is still growing and developing, which means there are opportunities to get in early before prices and competition reach the levels seen in more established markets. And for people who are looking for a city that offers opportunity, affordability, and a high quality of life, Raleigh is one of the strongest all-around options in the country right now. At the end of the day, the idea of the best city is not about one perfect place. It's about finding the environment that aligns with your goals, your lifestyle, and your long-term vision, because what works for one person may not work for another. And that's why understanding the strengths of each of these cities is so important. Because Naperville offers stability and family life. Cambridge offers innovation and opportunity. The Woodlands offers space and community. Arlington offers career access. Bellevue offers income potential. Austin offers energy and culture. And Raleigh offers balance and future growth. And the biggest mistake people make is following hype instead of understanding where real opportunity exists. Because the cities that are truly the best are not always the ones being talked about the most. They are the ones where people are actually building better lives. And if you take anything away from this video, it should be this. Pay attention to where the fundamentals are strong, because that's where the long-term value is created. And if you found this video helpful and you want more breakdowns like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we're constantly analyzing where the market is moving, where opportunities are emerging, and what trends are shaping the future of living in America. And trust me, the shifts happening right now are only the beginning, and the people who understand them early are the ones who benefit the most. So stay ahead of the curve, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.